How do you view and make sense of all of this on that spectrum?
Well, it's been a very much like a kind of a slow authoritarian creep by Trump. You know, they have been fairly selective. They have been moving in a slow but deliberate manner. It's sort of like the vampires in the movie Sinners, where, you know, mild spoilers for that movie, you know, for the first half of the film, you know, life is continuing as normal, even though the vampires are out there, they're hurting people, and then suddenly they're at your doorstep. And that's kind of the way authoritarians move. That's kind of the way authoritarians work. But it's important for everyone to be reminded that just because life appears to be normal, you know, we're all watching the World Series, we're watching Steelers Packers, you know, that doesn't mean that life actually is normal. We have masked agents abducting people off the streets. We have a DOJ that is going after the president's enemies. We have a ballroom being built at taxpayers' expense while there is a government shutdown and government workers cannot receive their paychecks. None of this is normal. And just because it appears to be normal doesn't mean it is.
John?
Well, you know, the thing about this is the description of what is going on. His lie in this case, and there's always a lie at the heart of whatever he's doing, his lie is that he gives a damn about policing the people and keeping them safe from violence. The number of people present, as this recovering federal prosecutor would observe, who are put there to take care of the crimes are not enough. 200 people, 100 people. Why are they there then?
Why are they there if it's not a real patrol? It's an important point. Go ahead. Yeah.
To provoke, and to get the film that they want. And instinctively or by design, the people in the various locations, which are Democrats, are wearing costumes and so forth, making ridiculous what they do. Right. And the officers who are untrained and unprofessional, even in their propaganda, even in their violence, don't know how to accomplish it. And so you see them actually provoking it. We see them throwing gas and stuff like that. And they think they're holding their constituency together. Why?
Well, and if I may, I'll let you finish. We can't get inside the mind of every single agent. There may be some there who, as you describe, and the judge is concerned, are being provocative with tear gas. There may be others who are assigned there for the day and are standing there going, why am I here? I mean, again, if you go down the line of each one, I will say your account is consistent with what the judge reprimanded at least their leader for.
Right. And, you know, when the people are on the ground are coming there with mercenary bounties to do what they're doing and wearing masks and acting like thugs, these are the people we should be arresting. And the powers for police that are necessary don't exist here, aside from the amendments to the Constitution that reserve to the states the police power, which is not compromised in those places if you look at the statistics over the years. So what do we have? We have a president who is having an army in his mind, though still small, to take care of us domestically for what? The election, control over the people. He's adventuring into South America, and may, without a pledge from the Congress to authorize a war, go forward with a war there, because that's who he is. You know, cowards always do this kind of thing. You take a person who as a kid had a fist fight, they're going to be reserved about going into any war legitimately. This guy, who has no experience in any way, did what he could to avoid any service that might have put him at risk, is prepared to put anybody at risk because he thinks they're all losers. He tells them what he thinks they need to hear when he's prepared to punish them at every turn, and does. And as soon as they say anything truthful and disloyal, say there was a Kerry, as was true in the Vietnam War, who came forward now and said, you know what's really going on? This guy would be crushed like that, because we already have an authoritarian government and we don't have people fighting back. It's no accident that Kennedy's book, Profiles in Courage, is such a thin book, because there have been so few heroes in our American history. And now, when we're challenging some of our basic views, the equality of people before the law, equal justice based on color, based on origin, based on religion, all these differences, we can't tolerate differences, because these people are feared to have anything except an all-white government, and anybody else be damned.
Well,
so
look, that's John's view. I'll mention, Che, as you know, we've had border czar Tom Homan on. We have a lot of different views. John is very clear in his. And if it may sound harsh, but I will put forward, as we do around here, Che, the evidence John is making his argument. Here's some of the evidence. This is an independent judge, orders the daily meetings here with Border Patrol, with the local leader, Bovino, because of the way the Chicago immigration enforcement's going. And the judge basically admonishing the government here. Those kids were tear gassed on their way to celebrate Halloween in the school parking lot, says this federal judge, Judge Ellis. I can only imagine how terrified they were. These kids, their sense of safety shattered on Saturday, of course, this weekend. And it's going to take a long time for that to come back, if ever. And so, Che, that's some of what's happening. Whether or not every agent there intended that or was involved in that, the judge is saying the buck stops in this case with the local leader in charge, and they got to go daily, and they may have to wear now a body camera, the level of oversight the judge wants, because the concern is, one, this was a feature, not a bug, and two, the body camera, because they don't believe that these Trump officials are telling the truth in court.
Yeah, I mean, it's all very disturbing, and none of it should have ever been allowed to happen, but it is happening. And I would say that there is a significant and serious pushback in the country. I mean, we had a No Kings protest that brought out 7 million people to say in America, we don't have kings. When Donald Trump tried to do something that really did touch upon people's normal lives, like censoring and getting rid of Jimmy Kimmel, you saw the pushback, you saw the blowback, and it was really ferocious. Yeah, I mean, people were canceling their Disney Plus subscriptions, and Disney got the memo, Sinclair got the memo, and they corrected course. I mean, that is the kind of sustained effort that you need to see more of, and it would be more successful if we can do it on a more repeated, constant basis. One thing I'll also say that has worked is portraying yourself as the rebel and portraying Donald Trump as the man. I think that's like one of the reasons Jimmy Kimmel succeeded. Jimmy Kimmel was Ferris Bueller and Donald Trump was the high school principal. It really sort of put a face on the idea of authoritarianism in American life. I've been watching Zoran's ads in New York, and one of the things he says is, I'm up against Cuomo and the billionaires. He's the rebel, and Cuomo and the billionaires, they're the man. That sort of speaks to this anti-establishment moment that we're in, because we are right now in a moment where the establishment is very much authoritarian or really wants to be authoritarian.
The American people and institutions in this country get a say into how far he's going to be able to go. And sometimes protest is the most important lever in determining what institutions and powerful people themselves are willing to do, regardless of what Trump wants.
Rachel discussing the interplay between the rules and pressure over here, call that America or civil society, and what Trump wants, right? He may want to rule forever. He may want to have soldiers be his personal police force. And so in a time where his own party and other levers aren't stopping necessarily what he wants, the question is, what's over here? Well, tonight we can report the law is still over here. The Constitution is the baseline of everything. It is what, for example, includes a limit with no exceptions on presidents serving only 2 terms. Never 3, only 2. And while Trump has talked about wanting more, we have news tonight where the Republican Speaker of the House, who has warmed and helped Trump on many, many things, is out loud saying where the law limits Trump's power. Take a look.
I would love to do it. I have my best numbers ever. It's very terrible. I have my best numbers.
Well, there is the 22nd Amendment. I think the president knows, and he and I have talked about the constrictions of the Constitution, as much as so many of the American people lament that. I don't see the path for that.
The Speaker knows the Constitution has no path for that. For GOP Speaker Johnson, as we do around here sometimes on Facts and Law, the legal fact check, true. There is no path in any way for Donald Trump to rule past 2028 under the Constitution. Let's hear that again.
I don't see the path for that.
No path, no way, no how.